the weekly watch here for episode 2, season 3 of the White Lotus. Caiden, it was a good one. It was a good one. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I watched it when it came out and was immediately happy because a lot happened. We saw a lot of development, and there was actually some plot points, which that's been my critique of this show. The past 2 seasons, it's just really slow developing and nothing really happens. But we got a lot of development in episode 2 of season 3 of White Lotus. So I'm excited to talk more about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. A lot of main plot points. I'll hit on a couple of them real quick. We have, of course, something that kind of happened in the first episode. But we had more details into Timothy's situation. Of course, Timothy, the dad, wealthy business owner, he is involved in a money laundering scheme back in the States. And it sounds like when he gets back, there's going to be hell to pay for him. Um, yeah, so I think they did the conversations really well. It wasn't like, oh, I like how it was kind of slow burn. That's one of the things I like about this series. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, because I could have just like gotten into it right away, but it let it let it build up for an episode or two, and then we learned about it. And he's obviously in a ton of trouble. Thoughts on Timothy's deal right now?
Yeah, it was, it's kind of something that we hit on last episode, and I guess it was kind of easy to predict, but now it's come more into fruition of like what the issue is, what he's dealing with, and I don't know. It seems like it's going to be one of those where he kind of goes off the rails because I mean this guy he worked really close with is now being raided by the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he's like threatening to kill this guy over the phone, and then we have our security guard, traffic control guy, listening in, who may be someone that calls the police and tries to get them involved. But overall, yeah, it was an interesting development because now we know what he's been dealing with, and it's insider trading and sketchy dealings, and those can go a long way. So he's probably going to be on edge the rest of the vacation, just trying to think of a story or what he can do to get around it if he goes back to the States, or if there are people that come after him in Thailand.
Yeah, I just watched a video about it leading up to this podcast. Sometimes I'll watch like a little explanation video and stuff. And I saw an interesting theory about how the security guard overhears the conversation. And what I heard from this guy who was explaining the episode, there's a theory that he might think that he was involved in the other big plot point of the second episode in the robbery at the hotel. The store was robbed of a lot of jewelry, and so maybe he gets implicated on a crime that he didn't actually commit, which is kind of ironic because he's involved in another one. Um, but yeah, I think that will be very interesting. Also, and Ken, you're gonna have to correct me here. Do you know the name of the security guard?
Yes, I actually had it. I was looking at it just a second ago. His name is Guy Talk.
Guy Talk. All
Yeah.
right, I'm interested in him, and it's Mook, correct?
Luke. Yep.
I'm interested in their relationship because obviously, um, Guy Talk likes Mook, and we kind of see that at the near the end of the episode. Mook starts reciprocating that, I think, a little bit. So I'm interested to see what goes on with that relationship.
That is not what I saw. She clearly shut him down and friend zoned him.
Really, I think at the end.
No, she's like, no, you're stupid. And she's like, he's like, oh, you're worried about me? Like, yeah, it's your friend who got his ass beat and put up zero fight, and he's a bad security guard.
I don't know. I saw something else, Ken. We'll see what happens.
Not.
I saw originally the lunch. I'm like, yeah, he's out. Like, she's not into it. But after,
No, I think she just feels bad for him.
yeah, or that. I'm rooting for Guy Talk though, but we'll see about that.
This
Um,
article that I have pulled up right now, Guy Talk is reaching uncharted regions of the friend zone.
oh my god. Well, maybe maybe that's more accurate, but I guess I'm being optimistic for Guy Talk. I'm interested to see where that relationship goes either way, because obviously they're going to be important in terms of
Mhm.
what happens with the murder or their relationship with the guest, or are they involved with the murder? We'll see. Um, but yeah, they're obviously playing a very big uh, role in this series. Also, the person involved in the robbery, Chelsea, um, she was there during the robbery, which is significant. And her partner, Rick, is now going to go to Bangkok to try to find the owner of the hotel's husband, which we don't know what the deal is with that, but I think we're going to find out pretty soon. That's the other, like, third big plot point.
I agree. I'm curious. Now this is me reaching. I'm curious if it has anything to do with his whole like meditation session with like his dad being murdered or like his mom being, overdosing. If there's some connection there, um, that he thinks there is, or if this guy is like, you know, spiritual or something like that. I'm very curious to see where this goes because we've been given no information on why he needs to see this guy, but we just know that he wants to go see him. Um, I don't think it maybe has no ill intent because he hears about this guy's stroke and you don't really see him like be happy about it. You kind of see him get upset about it. So I'm interested to see what that relationship is there, if they know one another or if he's seeking something from him.
I'm very curious about that. Maybe there's some kind of money involved, or maybe. Now, here's a theory that just popped in my head. You know how we hear that his dad was murdered?
Mm-hmm.
Is he the guy that murdered his dad? And
Yeah.
he's seeking revenge. I think that would be an interesting point.
It would be.
Also, like, where does that come into the story? As like, we tend to in the White Lotus stay in the hotel, but we saw last season they kind of switched out of that a little bit.
Mhm.
Obviously, like with Jennifer Coolidge's character, them going on that trip with, yeah. So we could
Yeah.
see different locations now.
Going off the resort and then out
Yeah,
into the city and
yeah, which
that.
which will be very interesting. But I'm ready to get to it. Do you have a top three most interesting characters of episode two?
Most interesting character. I don't really think it's anything different. I do still think what's her name? The alleged prostitute. Um,
Yes, her name is. I just had her up here.
Sophie.
It is. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I know it's the girl that is with
Yeah.
the guy from the first two seasons,
Yes.
whose name is Greg. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I think there are some good points being brought up. Like, oh, like they met at like a speed dating and Dubai. Like she's friend. They don't really know anything about each other. So I
Mhm.
think it's an interesting point, but I don't know if I really believe that she is a prostitute. But I think there's some really interesting things going on there. Like in my opinion, the whole robbery. She seemed very calm about it and just in the right place at the right time,
Mhm.
hidden away and knew when to come out, when to stay hidden. So very curious if there's any ties there. Could just be reading into it too much, but I don't
Yeah.
know. She's suspicious. She's just one of those that got like little screen time episode one, a lot more episode two, getting along with the main character. So I'm curious if there's some reason for that.
Yeah. I'm interested as well. So I'm gonna start it off here with my number three most interesting character. I think it's really close, two and three for me in episode two, but I'm gonna go with Chelsea. She cracks the list again. I just find her and Rick's relationship really interesting so far, and Rick struggles just like mentally. You can kind of see he's just never really in it. He's always bummed out, and I think a lot of that stems from his past. And now he's going to Bangkok. I'm seeing like, what is Chelsea thinking about this? What are the repercussions of the relationship going to be with a lot of this stuff going on? And obviously, she was like involved with one of the bigger parts
Mhm.
of the episode and the robbery. So
Yep, I agree with you. I think she's an interesting character. I think next for interesting for me, I think I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with Lachlan.
yeah,
I
that's a
think
good
last
one.
time I kind of picked up on Saxon, but I think I want to lock in more on Lachlan. No pun intended.
Mhm.
But I don't know. We're seeing a lot. This kid might be gay. Um, Kind of seems like socially unaware. Um, we saw him talking to his sister in the ocean, and he's bringing up like things that his brother has said about her that are way too sexual and odd to talk to your sister about. Um, I mean, they started off good. It was like, hey, like, what do you like actually believe in?
Mhm.
Like faith and spirits and this and that. And then he just starts talking about how Saxon's like talking about how she's a virgin, how it's weird because she's so hot and like it's no sex, and it's just like the weird thing to say to your sister.
I feel
Um,
like both are extremely weird. That
yeah,
Saxon brings it up to his brother, and then that his brother
right.
talks about it. Like he talks about it as like, and his sister's like, "What the heck? That's weird." And he's like, "Oh, really? That's weird." Like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's a
it's
weird
like
thing for
it's
Saxon to
different to like
say.
just ask, but like the way that like it was brought up and weird.
Yeah,
And we also saw him once again staring at his naked brother, not in disgust or anything, but kind of just looking at him in wonder and curiosity and something going on there. It's a little weird.
yeah. It's a very weird family so far. The dynamics in the family are interesting. Um, yeah, for me, I'll just go ahead and do my 2 and 1, and then you can go ahead and add your last one. I have Rick at number 2. I just think he's got a lot of stuff going on with him and Chelsea, him going to Bangkok now, his past, and going to therapy now at the resort. And my number 1 is kind of a weird pick, but I'm going to go with Piper, the daughter of the family. I
Mhm.
just feel like she's going to play a very pivotal role. She was very annoyed this episode. I feel like probably some anger's brewing with her, and I'm interested to see how that's gonna come up in terms of the big murder thing. And she's obviously learning about Buddhism, which is all about like being very zen and calm. And I wonder if like stuff is gonna get to her and she's gonna break that zen like state and stab Saxon in the face. I don't know, something like that.
All right. I think next up, I'm really excited to see Belinda and this guy's relationship. Um,
Oh yeah, me too.
Not like the most interesting to me, but it seems like just the most wholesome kind of thing going on.
Hmm.
But again, it's just the dynamic trio. I'm going to go with Lori again. I think there's a lot of information that we learned about those three, about their childhood, their lives, and how they got to where they are, and how each of them kind of started shit talking each other.
Yeah.
I think Lori is again the odd one out. Um, but we see that a good moment with her and Kate toward the end of the episode talking about their other friend. Why is she
Hmm.
so far away in this diagram? Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, yeah, the
Yeah,
actress, the
yeah.
famous one.
I think they're just kind of all talking about how like I don't know. It's kind of just I think a situation where they all act like their lives are so perfect, but in reality, like they're all struggling, and I think Lori is the only one that's like open about that. Um,
Yeah,
Her life just isn't as successful, and they kind of start taking jabs at each other after a couple drinks, and
I
uh,
find them to be so annoying. Like they
yeah,
remind me of like people posting on their Instagrams, but in real life. like, "Oh no, you're so awesome! No, you're so
Yeah,
awesome!" And like just celebrating, like, "No, y'all all got issues, like everyone does." Like it's just cringy, you know.
yeah.
Uh,
I just think something's gonna blow up there. It might not be murder or anything. I'm sure one of them gonna die, but I think there's gonna be like a massive rift in there, and they're gonna go home not being friends.
Yeah. So I have did you say three people or do you have one more?
Mhm. Yeah, I got
You
three.
have okay, so I have a theory, Caden, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and predict my murder after episode 2, which we'll do every episode. And reminder to the people, after episode 1, I had Chelsea killing Timothy. And then Caden had Timothy killing Rick. Now I'm gonna switch it up a bit in episode 2 here. I feel like in the three groups, there's been two pretty pivotal groups above the rest. I still think Chelsea and Rick and the family. What's the family's name again? You know,
The Ratliff family.
the Ratliff family. I feel like those two have been the most prominent. Timothy's involved in a really big criminal case now. Rick is going to Bangkok now, and I feel like the other group, Jacqueline, Kate, and Lori, have been kind of more, just kind of this rift and like not a lot going on, but they're just bragging about their lives and just like really petty stuff. You can see jealousy and stuff. But I think as we get on with the series, I think that's going to become bigger and bigger role in this, or we're going to continue that way, like kind of them being like, oh yeah, they're just have like jealousy and like
Hmm.
stupid kid like pettiness. And at the end, we're going to be shocked and something's going to happen in terms of the murder in their group. And now, what would you say in your in terms of if it's in that group, who would kill who? You think? Because I have an interesting theory.
I want to hear your theory first.
So first of all, I think the most obvious one is that Lori would kill like Jacqueline because she's jealous of her being famous and accomplishing all this stuff. But I think what's going to happen, I think Jacqueline is going to kill Lori.
Hmm.
You know how in that scene where Jacqueline and Kate are talking, not Jacqueline and Kate and Lori are talking bad about Jacqueline on the patio there
Yeah,
as Jacqueline's in her room, like looking at the book. We see Jacqueline start to kind of listen, and it seems to be that she doesn't hear anything, right?
that's what.
But
Yeah.
my theory is that she did hear what happened, and there's going to be this uh, anger that starts brewing inside of Jacqueline towards those two, and I think something's going to happen later on, and she's going to be like really angry, and I don't know, shoot Lori or like push her or something, and she's going to fall off a cliff or I don't know if it's gonna be a straight up murder, but it's gonna be an act of violence that results in murder, like a push or they get in a fight or something. I like my prediction here. I think it would be a very interesting twist.
I think within that group, I think it's gonna be Jacqueline killing Kate. Honestly,
Yeah,
because I feel like I don't know. This Lori being the odd one out, I think seems too obvious, and I just feel like there's a much bigger disconnect and a bigger rift that's possible between Jacqueline and Kate because they're like supposed to be like, oh, bestie, best friends. They only talk 2 times a year. Um, I think Jacqueline thinks she's better than both of them,
yeah.
better than everybody else. I think something's gonna happen, and if something happens in this friend group, I think it's gonna be Jacqueline going to Katie, and
Kate's my least favorite character out of those three. I don't really like Kate.
I don't either.
The other ones I think are like fine. I like Jacqueline. I like what's her name,
Kate or Lori.
Lori. But Kate, I feel like is just like she really irritates me. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
feel like she just piggybacks off of both of them.
Yeah,
I feel like she doesn't have anything going on.
yeah. She seems like very fake too.
Yeah.
You know, I, and like I'm not. I think all of them are to an extent, but I think Kate the most. So, anyways, what's your prediction though, Caden, for the murder after episode 2?
I think the murder that we're gonna see. I feel like I was. way off in my first one. I don't think Tim's gonna kill Rick. I don't think there's anything there. I think someone's just in a bad mood and they just had a quick altercation. I don't think
Yeah.
anything against him. I don't really see them getting closer. You can kind of. That's what I really like about this show is like you can see like whose family is getting close to who. Um, we saw a very weird encounter with um, Kate and the mother, Victoria,
Mhm.
when they were at brunch, I think it was, talking about a baby shower that happened 10 years prior, and
Oh,
they don't like
I
remember each
was
other.
real quick before we go through that. I thought that they were right. I thought Victoria was like really rude. Like, I think like
Oh, beyond. I think she's too drugged up to understand. I think she
yeah,
is on a different
because
cloud.
I feel like if I was like it was like a little awkward, which a lot of the interactions are. But if I like saw someone say like I met for like a week, even like 10 years ago, let's say, and I meet them across the world, I feel like that would be like, oh my god, I recognize you. Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a great vacation. I think that'd be an interesting thing to like bring up to them. Not that you have to hang out with them the whole vacation, but like Victoria's like, oh, whatever. Like,
Yeah, she was really weird about it, and it wasn't even like, "Oh no, I don't really remember you. Sorry." She was like, "Oh, okay." And
yeah,
like if she did remember her, it should have been like more enthusiastic. And if she didn't, her, either being like upfront and honest about it or just, faking it and be like, oh my God, how are you? Like, you don't even have to say anything personal. You can just like, oh my God, how are you? Can you remind me of your name again? You look familiar.
yeah, or just like, oh, I don't really remember, but like, oh, that's crazy. Like, it's nice to meet you. I think she's just like you said, so out of it that she
Hmm.
can't even like have a civil conversation with people. You know?
Yeah, and I was getting very angry during this episode because
Yeah.
I started to see a lot of her accent come out, and I was like, no, no.
Who's that?
Victoria, like she was having like a really thick like South Carolina accent is what
Yeah.
the I'm like, oh my God, they're bringing it back. Jennifer Coolidge 2.0. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, but what's Jennifer's accent? I feel like
Freaking, I don't even know,
it's
man.
just like
Botox and
Caden,
Ozempic.
Caden. It's just like it's like this.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't I'm just like a lot of mumbling and stutter.
yeah. I think
Let's bring Jennifer back. Let's bring her back from the dead.
I
Episode 3.
I will say, um, I think the murder. Sorry, I got a little off track there.
You're all good.
I'm just gonna throw one out in left field. Okay,
I like it.
I think it's gonna be Belinda's man that she's starting to talk to.
Oh my god, he's gonna
I
kill
think,
someone.
I think he is going to kill Greg because Belinda, we saw in this episode, see Greg, and she like couldn't really put two and two together. She's like, he looks familiar,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna try to take the long play here, and hopefully the character development happens. But I feel like she's gonna figure it out, and then she's gonna go to him and tell him,
Yeah.
and then something's gonna happen, and he's just gonna kill him, or the other way around. He's gonna like try to confront him, and then Greg will kill whoever that guy's name is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look it up after. But yeah, I think that would. I think Belinda recognized him.
I don't know. I think she's like that guy looks really familiar. I mean, it'd probably tell. Like her career is, basically what the guy she's seeing right now, like to help people heal, to like relax out of it. Like she probably sees so many people. So
That's
she's
true.
probably like, hey, he looks kind of familiar. I think she's gonna piece it together like the next episode or two.
Mhm.
Think
We
about Jennifer Coolidge.
what happened with Craig? Do you remember? Did he cheat on Jennifer Coolidge or something? I know he did something bad
I think he like cheated on her, like
or took money,
she
maybe.
died, and I feel like I don't even know if he cheated on her. I think he just like didn't care and just kind of left her,
Okay.
and then she like
Um.
died. I'm gonna have to like that's the problem is I was like looking up like when these seasons came out, and it's been like 2 years, 3 years since the last season. So I'm gonna have to like go
Yeah.
back and like rewatch like what actually happened between them.
Yeah. What
Especially
was
because it's season 1 is where they met.
Yeah,
They
and
met
I
in
think they were
season
and
one.
then Greg wait, Greg flies out to Italy, right?
Mhm.
Oh, but like I'm interested. I'll look it up. So like anyone listening and they're like, these idiots don't know what they're talking about. Like
It was
I
4 years
just take it
ago.
with a grain of salt. I'm not
Yeah,
entirely
it was a season 4 years ago. Like, I didn't realize how long it had been since the start
sure.
of
Yeah.
this. So
And
that's hard
then
to remember.
last year was the second season, right?
2 years ago.
Oh,
I
it's
think it was
2 years. That's
it was
crazy.
2023.
I wait. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Damn, we've been out of school for a while already.
I know, dude.
Okay. Okay, wait. By the end of season,
Yeah,
this season.
season 2, episode 1, October 30th, 2022.
Okay. I remember what happens, Caden. This is
What?
like a really big plot point. He hires someone to kill her so he can
Mm,
get all of her money.
gotcha. But then it doesn't work?
Yeah. So Tanya's her name. So it doesn't work, but then remember she slips and she falls overboard and hits her head and ends up dying anyways.
Right. Wait, is that season 1 or 2? That's
That's
season
two.
2.
That's two.
Okay, I don't even know what happens in season 1.
That was crazy. Yeah. That was I remember that now. Yeah, so that's why he was the bad guy. Yeah, but
Maybe there's no reason for him to remember her or her to remember him and be like, bad guy.
what's that shirt? Was Belinda in season 2?
I think just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
We'll check. I like that prediction though.
Thanks. They could be totally off base based off what we just talked about. Like, this guy might not be a bad guy in her eyes, but
What
it's a
if he?
guess.
What if he? I'm gonna throw this out here. This is like a plus 30,000 odd play here, but
Okay.
Tanya comes back from the dead and kills Greg in revenge.
Hmm.
We get like paranormal.
Rick goes to this guy. He resurrects her,
Oh my god.
and then she kills him.
Man, if they're like, that'd be crazy. If there's like betting lines for this series, each episode before it comes out, it's like, does someone kill someone? Does uh, what's her name have an affair or something? Like a bunch
Yeah.
of like little plot points you
How
could.
long will younger brothers stare at older brothers' butt
Yeah, for real.
naked?
Oh, damn it! I had over 10 seconds.
Like,
It was
you
only
thought
8.5.
you thought they were gonna go 10 seconds of just camera of him on his ass?
I could see it.
Yeah.
We do a lot of butt shots in the show. Yeah, but
A couple
anyways,
boob shots. We saw a couple boob shots.
we did. But I think White Lotus specializes in the butt shots. I would say that's
Oh
their
yeah, male butt shots. Yeah,
they have nudity, of course, like a couple episodes every season. But like butt shots is just everywhere. That's what they're known for, really.
yeah, male butt shots. It's like getting
Yeah.
in the shower. Like, not even all the time sexual. Sometimes yes, but most of the time it's just like they're getting in the shower, they're changing, they just
Yeah.
woke up. Weird.
Yeah.
Mike White, you got some questions to answer.
Speaking of butt shots, I did actually see The Monkey, which has Theo James in it.
Oh God.
The newest movie, so it was
Mhm.
pretty good. It was fun. But on that note, episode
That's enough
3.
for the crack talk.
Yeah, that episode 3 coming up shortly. We'll be back next weekend.